You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
Alrighty, it is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I am Matt Fox.
And we are in the super exclusive... This is the second bunker we've been in, Matthew.
It is, actually.
It's the exclusive wine
I
garden
feel safe at the moment.
bunker with our amazing host, Tony Batou. Tony, thank you.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Welcome.
The last time we were in the bunker, it was not this pretty.
No, far from it.
It did not look this good at all. It was, so you've stepped things up, and so you have a little bit of storage, a little bit of storage, a little bit of fun, and
nice little tasting room. I got to tell you, we've seen a few tasting rooms, and this is very quaint. It's very relaxing. You know, you got exactly what you need. You have bourbon, whiskey, and cigars. I don't know what else you need in a man cave.
Water. We have water, too.
You have water. Oh, yeah, okay. Got to stay hydrated. So, yeah. You got exactly what you need in here.
We're at the Wine Garden in St. Clair Shores for a virtual tasting. We were talking about cigars. So we did. There was a fun online Drew Estates event.
Yes.
And there was a bunch of cats from the Michigan Cigar Cartel. And they're like, we should do a tasting with Tony at the Wine Garden. I'm like, hell yeah. So Jeremy is one of the administrators there at the Michigan Cigar Cartel.
Yes, sir.
Michigan chapter of the Cigar Cartel.
Yep.
And we're like, let's hang out. And Tony's like, come on down. So, we haven't been here in a while, and we wanted to find out what was going on with Tony in the Wine Garden, find out what's new and different in the whiskey world during the pandemic. And then tap Jeremy for some of his wisdom and pair up some Drew Estates, because we like Drew Estate cigars.
Yes,
we're going to pair up some Drew Estate business with some juices off the shelf that Tony was so very generous to share with us today. So, but Tony,
we're about to get it started, bro.
So you opened a second location. You're getting things rolling and launching a second place.
Yes, 19 mile east of Shaner.
That's in Sterling Heights, Michigan, is it not?
Correct.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like almost around the corner from my place, so I don't have to come all the way out to St. Clair Shores, but I love coming here, but now I can get what I want a little bit quicker.
I keep telling my brother, if he keeps stealing more customers, we're going to have it.
So is it you and your brother that are co-owners there?
Yes.
Okay.
Family owned and operated, of course, both stores. This is a second edition. Maybe a third or fourth coming up in the future, different cities. We're very excited, up to the challenge.
Yes, especially during this time, right?
Yeah.
But what the Wine Garden is known for, one of the many things, wine, of course, and being incredibly hospitable, but you're also really well known for the barrel picks that you do. You do a lot of with wines. You have very special wines you bring in that no one else has. And then with the bourbons and the whiskeys and the scotches, you bring in some amazing barrel picks. And just what's new and different that you have recently, Tony?
So it's been very challenging year for sure.
Yeah.
We've been canceled all of our trips to Kentucky recently. Unfortunately, just the way it happens, I was supposed to be there in April twice, May twice, June twice, and August twice.
Yeah.
So about two trips a month, and usually about 2 to 3 barrels every time.
Right.
So we were doing on an average of 20 barrels a year, 22 barrels.
Wow.
I think we got up to 23 barrels one year.
Jeez.
It's been amazing.
So
some
your
of them
palate,
multiples.
Your palate has to really be well educated at this point.
Well, I mean, I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
The first time we talked about how to pick a barrel.
Yes.
It's one of the first things that we spoke about with you, and it was one of the first few
Yeah.
episodes that we did on the Man Cave with you. It's just the staves that you were tasting. You had to go through different scenarios and different versions.
Yeah,
of,
that was the maker's mark.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but since then, what else have you learned when it comes to the barrel pick? Are there any other secrets that you've learned since the last time we spoke about it?
Really, honestly, trying to find the stuff that people don't know about yet. When you're trying stuff, new stuff, whatever, and the relationship you gather with that distillery. That's where you go with. You feel comfortable with the brand. You know the history behind it.
Right.
And then when it's time to do a barrel, we do a barrel. Mammoth Distillery is one comes to mind. Love that owner and the distillery itself. Great product.
And you carry that here.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I there's a lot of cool things we're doing with distilleries in Michigan, as well as outside of Michigan. Valentine Distillery is a great one. We're going to do 2 barrels with them this year.
Excellent.
Can I see the Pingree on the shelf up there?
Yeah.
So you can't go to the distilleries to do the barrel picks, but I've seen them send like little bottles, like little sample bottles, like an array of sample bottles, and you could do your tasting at home here. Have you done any of those? Have the distilleries adapted, and are they doing that? And have you done that?
So it's always been. This is what they call an in-market selection. They've always had an in-market selection. This is not new. I always opt in to be at the distillery, and that's why I went.
It's fun. It's an adventure. Yeah. How do you?
It's great. No, you get attached to the brand. You get to see their history. Where I can walk people into Buffalo Trace with their eyes closed.
Say, hi, Freddie.
Yeah, Freddie's my man.
Yeah.
Freddie's a cool guy. He's gave me my first tour, by the way. But for us, it's very important to be at the distillery, shaking hands with the right people, being at the right, seeing seeing the master distiller and the master blender there.
Right.
It's amazing. You gather a lot of information from them.
Yeah. And that helps you sell it, because when I come in here and talk to you and your people, I mean, you guys know what you're talking about, and it astounds me, and that's why we do the Man Cave, because Matt and I don't really know, and
I don't know anything.
We're here to learn, right? And that's what that's what it's all about.
You hope to go to a place that know what they're talking about, especially if they're selling it, right?
Right.
I don't know everything that's in the store, but I can guarantee you I know about 80 to 90% of it.
And I can guarantee you know more than me.
Just enough to be dangerous. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm actually adverse in wine just as much as I am in bourbon. I don't talk about it often because wine is still not, people are not looking at it as like they are with bourbon, following barrels and stuff like that.
Right.
So, but I'm very knowledgeable in wine as well. I mean, it's my, actually for the longest time was my forte.
Right.
I knew more about wine than I knew about bourbon. Until I visited Buffalo Trace.
And then it was all she wrote.
It was over.
That's all it takes is just one.
Yeah.
Only just one.
Can't go wrong with whiskey, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, what did you pour for us today?
So, we did this is a Knob Creek collaboration that I did with the firefighters of Michigan and of St. Clair Shores.
Right.
So
it sold out in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I do remember seeing that.
So I had committed 70 bottles to them, and they actually came in with a lot higher. They submitted 100 bottles order. So, but yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, right. $10 of every bottle will be donated to their expenditure fund, which is it's like a fund that they they could buy a shirt, a hat with it, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's about $2,000, maybe $2,200.
Wow.
In we raised for them, and then we did a Whitford bourbon for the police department. So that was amazing. That sold out actually quicker than I thought. I thought, no one likes the cops. But seems like they like to drink, so they probably bought the whole barrel.
It's a fair assumption.
Hopefully off duty.
Just saying.
Yeah. But all right. So what can you tell us about the Knob Creek? What was special about it that you got for the firefighters?
120 proof.
Ooh.
Okay.
So we're starting out strong.
Thank God we got open flames here. Yeah. Okay.
120 proof. 9 months plus 9 years plus months. So about 9 years and like 3-4 months. When I bought this barrel, I ended up buying like 4 of them.
Oh.
And, the fire department came in here and they wanted to do a barrel. So we tasted 3 different Knob Creeks and they ended up picking this one to be their charity barrel.
Okay.
They were all great. They were all, they were all picked for the store anyhow.
Yeah.
So, but they picked the one that they liked the best. So lots of caramel jumps out of it. You know, a lot of times people talk about aging, how old it is. Like I used to pick 13, 14-year-old, Knob Creek last year and the year before.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be history now. It's not going to be more than 9 years.
Right.
Especially with them innovating, with Knob Creek innovating with new brands on the shelf. They're going to have a 12-year-old that's going to sit on the shelf every day, all day.
Wow.
And so they kind of took some of those barrels and saved it for themselves.
No, you said 120 proof, and right on, as soon as I heard that, I'm expecting to get just bowled over on the nose.
I
But
was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't bowled over at
It's
all.
not really
No.
big on the nose. It was very, very sweet on the nose.
Yeah, caramel, lots
Yeah.
of caramel on this one. Lots of caramel.
Yeah.
Actually, a hint of like maple sugar on top.
Getting a little,
I was getting
mapley
very
on it.
sugar. I was getting very sweet.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
not very hot either. I was
Yeah.
expecting, when you said 120, the first taste, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
guessed 120. It's very smooth for
No,
120.
it's Knob Creek is a great product.
Yes.
Great product.
Wow.
Um,
That's really nice on the
we could do
the follow through on the
we
back
can
end.
do the
That's really nice.
police department one after this if you guys wish. It's a lot lower proof than this.
Man, you got Uber on your phone?
Yeah.
And Lyft.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
And a wife.
Yeah, yeah.
Then yes, Tony. We will.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking to share some cool stuff with you guys. Maybe we could talk about some of my, love of whiskey. Honestly, I love all whiskey.
Yeah. So Knob Creek, what's the parent company on that again?
That is a Jim Beam.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Beam owns the brand.
The Beam. So I was listening to another I'm a podcast junkie, and I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking to the guy from Jim Beam, and he was talking about his dad and what his dad, Booker, right? What Booker drank on the shelf all the time at home was Old Tub. And are they? Is that coming back out?
Yeah, we just got it in.
Okay, I thought they were. I thought I had started to see that. Have you had the Old Tub yet?
Honestly, I haven't. I just got it in like Friday, so I haven't really tasted it
Okay.
yet.
Yeah. So I was excited. I had asked a couple people about it.
We can do it today.
And then,
No.
okay.
May I have your one of each, sir? Yes, please.
And then
Bottle of Old Tub.
we can save that for the next one if you want. I mean, because we got a lot to do. We
Yeah,
got
no.
cigars and
about.
stuff.
Yeah,
If-
I want
if
to
it
try
happens,
it too.
happens.
All right, right.
But no, he said that it was his daily drinker for his dad. And then, there was kind of the drought in bourbon, and they had kind of sold out, and they had a partnership with a larger Centauri, right?
Yeah, Beam
And
Centauri.
So they were partnered up with Centauri, and they had scaled back production of Old Tub, and then they got rid of it altogether. And he's like, my dad was on the phone with Chicago, giving him what for? He was so mad, and his life, but they didn't bring it back. But now they finally brought it back. I was like intrigued by that. So that story itself really had me hooked on the Old Tub.
Honestly, from what I remember, I've had it a long time ago. It's too young.
Yeah.
It needs to be aged a little bit more.
Okay.
But again, I haven't had the new bottle, and I don't know what they've done to it.
Because I think it's bottled in bond, right? It's 100 proof then.
I don't think it's bottled in bond.
Oh,
No,
I think
it's
the
not.
original one was because he
Yeah.
said it was 100 proof.
No, I think this is like maybe 90.
Okay.
But we're gonna get the
Yeah.
bottle. We could take
All
a
right.
look at it.
Yeah.
But I'm 90% certain it's not bottled in bond.
Okay. So, but we're on the Knob Creek. So, how does this compare to the Knob Creek you're going to get off the shelf? If someone's looking at Knob Creek, is Knob Creek just the regular one on the shelf? Is it usually this sweet?
Well,
it's not sweet. Is it had the sweet nose?
Actually, it's got a little bit of sweetness to it for me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every barrel is going to be different every time. I mean, what you buy off the shelf is usually a blended version.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So that is different. That is the master blender, the master distiller are probably trying to give you a certain taste profile that if you're in Japan, if you're in Australia or United States and buy that bottle off the shelf, 90% of the time is going to taste the same,
Right.
if not more. You know, so that's totally different. The single barrels,
Yeah.
they're all going to be different. Every one of them is going to be different. It's going to depending on what part of the warehouse it goes in.
Right.
You know, how long is it aged?
The time of the year it goes
You
into
know,
that barrel.
but when a distillery actually puts out a single barrel on the shelf, what they do is they kind of pick from the same spot of the warehouse, so they're kind of tasting similar. Where the store picks are totally different.
Right.
Different warehouse, different floor, different years of aging.
Right. And it's all to your flavor profile too that you're looking for too, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, there's a certain profile that I look for.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I pick a barrel or I refuse a barrel.
I did it again. I just sniffed my microphone. I do that at least once a remote. I sniff my microphone.
No, I'm allowed to give you a pass just one time a show. You're only
No,
allowed one.
I'll do it more than once today. That's for sure. All right. So, Jeremy, the Michigan chapter of the Cigar Cartel. How many members are there in the Michigan chapter right now?
Currently, there's
Ish.
about 400-ish.
Okay.
Yep. And that's been since the inception of our chapter was about 2.5 years ago now.
Okay.
And you've been the admin part of that for that entire time?
Correct. Yep.
So-
In the main cartel page, there's over 34,000 members spread out all over the world, and then each state has been given representation to kind of. Each month we go to a different shop. Well, we used to before COVID.
Yeah.
We would try and spread the love to all the different lounges. Come in, have a herf, everybody hang out, everybody smoke, everybody drink, have fun.
We've been doing this for a couple of years now. I think that's the first time I've heard someone say herf. What is a herf?
Oh, I've heard it, but I was afraid to ask what it meant.
A herf is just a gathering of cigar guys just hanging out and smoking.
All right, fair enough. All right, just making sure I understood that.
That's just the easiest term.
All right.
Is it an acronym for something, or is that
I don't think
short for Latin for something?
I think so, Tony.
Herf.
Do you know what it?
I
don't think
know.
there's an acronym for it.
Well,
but-
I don't know other than I know what herf
right,
means.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It means come hang out with
Yeah.
some
Come out
guys.
and smoke some cigars.
That's
Exactly.
part of the whole man cave. This is a learning experience.
There you go.
I'm still learning.
All right,
Yep.
we'll Google it.
There you go.
People are probably screaming at the screen.
Yeah, probably.
It's like somebody said that's it's if you ever wondered what it would be like to be a ghost.
Yep.
It's kind of like listening to a podcast and knowing the answer to something that the people on the show are quandering, and then you're just screaming at the like you want to know, you want to tell them, and you're shouting at it, and they just
Yep.
don't hear you.
Yep.
It's like being a ghost. So the people that are shouting at their phone or car radio,
I'm sure I'm going to get lambasted by all my buddies on the group, but all I know is a group of like-minded people having cigars and having drinks.
So there's several bourbon clubs on Facebook for Michigan. There's
Yep.
several the Cigar Smokers of Michigan,
Yes.
the Michigan chapter of the. So why kick off the Michigan chapter of the Cigar Cartel? Because the Cigar Smokers of Michigan, that's a cool group of people. There's
Yes.
Are you part of that as well? You're not an admin, but you.
Not. I was. I'm not. It's
Yeah,
long story.
fair play.
But I friends with a lot of guys in that group. Travis Hess, Ed Kester.
Yeah.
There's quite a few guys that are
Yeah.
that I know and hang out with on a regular basis. Yep.
Fair. Good guy.
Yeah. So, but there's room for everybody.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just different group of guys. We all kind of were on the cartel to start with, and then we just said, "Well, hey, we're in Michigan.
start
Let's
the
start our
Michigan
own."
one.
And all of us have similar interests.
Because
So
when
we
you go
just-
through that national one, it kind of gets flooded with
right,
just
yeah,
everything.
like I said, there's
everything,
34,000 people on there, and I mean, it's
Where can I
and
get
it's-
this? And
yeah.
it's like, what freaking city do you live in?
Right,
You know? So if you're
exactly.
talking to the Michigan people,
Exactly.
you can narrow it down a little bit
So
more.
everybody that's yelling at their radios.
Okay,
or
Matt
so
is
a
Matt.
HERF
Matt did some googling.
It's a gathering
Yep.
to relax and unwind and smoke premium cigars. You won't find any drugstore cigars at a HERF in any way, shape, or form. So
that is
Wow.
correct.
That is a HERF.
That's exactly what we
That is
do.
correct. Yep.
that is
Relax,
I just learned
unwind.
something on the man cave.
There you go.
It happens from time to time.
I
So
learned.
that old tub you were talking about, it's not bottled and bond, but it's at 100 proof.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know if it was bottled and bonded, it has to be aged in the bonded warehouse, has to be 101 proof,
Yep.
Yeah.
and at least 4 years old.
Okay.
Okay.
So since that doesn't meet that,
Okay.
it's only 100 proof.
All right.
You know,
But I mean,
unfiltered.
the original one might have been.
yeah.
The original one may have been because I thought the 100 proof stuck out, and I was like in my head, 100 proof. I just automatically go bottle.
One of the
bond.
things with big companies that buys big companies,
Yeah.
it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Right.
So
Well, I love
it's a
the
blessing because it opens up a lot of channels. It's
Nope.
a curse
Yeah.
because any brand that doesn't want to survive, or it's not a big number for them, they just
right.
let it go.
Even if
Give
it's
it up.
even if it's a heritage thing, or even
Yeah.
if the
Yeah,
original
because-
owner loved it.
Yeah, because they don't
Yeah.
they don't. A lot of big companies don't. Like big corporations, they say they care about history, but they really don't. They care about the bottom line and how they can help, make the people on Wall Street happy.
Right.
Basically that's the bottom line is money.
Yeah.
And
A word comes to mind: loyalty. It doesn't sound like there's much loyalty at that point if they're just looking at bottom line numbers. So you have to be a little bit loyal to spend the money. To
they don't care
buy-
about history. That's what I
Right.
can tell you.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so Jeremy, we like I said, last time we were hanging out, it was a Drew Estate event, and some of their folks were talking up some of the sticks and just trying to connect during these crazy times. And you're like, we should hang out. And I'm like, well, let's hang out and talk Drew Estate and pick a couple. So you picked for me for the first round here the Herrera Esteli.
Yep.
Because you said you're a big Drew Estate fan.
Liga Whore is the correct term I prefer. Liga Whore.
What do you know about this one?
It's a Habano wrapper, medium full. Woody.
I picked the same one.
Yeah,
You had
we were
Dragon
gonna
Tribe?
get different ones, but you said you were on the medium full side too. But
Yeah.
one of my favorite sticks, medium full, woody, a little bit of leather, a little bit of nutty.
Yep.
There's a little undertone of sweet when you get farther into the cigar. Usually that second third to last third, there's a little sweetness that comes through too.
I'm about a third the way in, and it's really starting to kick in as far as that woody feel and that nutty as you were explaining. I'm starting to feel that now because that first third is still warming up. You know, you're getting things going through it.
Yep.
It just it takes a hot second, so it's not you're not going to get those things immediately off
Correct.
the first hit,
Right.
first puff.
Yep. And I've got the Brother of the Leaf Corona size, one of their new re-releases, I would say.
It was a.
They
it
did
was,
it back in 2013, I believe.
Yeah,
was
it
the
was
first
a release for a group of. I don't know if they're a Facebook group or.
I think they were just a online forum
Yeah.
for the Brother of the Leaf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, they
they
did it for
re-released
them.
that. Yep,
Yeah, they released
just
it.
last year or this year. I can't remember.
Last year,
Yep.
it came out last year in
Yep.
July.
Yep.
After the
ICPCR.
IPCPR.
Well, it's now it's the
yeah.
PCA.
MOUSA.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the big show in Vegas that they do,
CIGAR.
for the cigar industry.
Yep.
That's when they released
Yep. And what are you smoking, Tony?
that. Liga number 9 Robusto is my ultimate top favorite cigars. Really, it's the only cigar that you catch me have a box of at my house.
Okay.
Because usually I'm a guy that changes things around, smoke different cigars. But Liga number 9 Robusto is my honest favorite cigar that I would go to time and time again.
Yep.
You
I have
know?
to agree. I'm
You know.
same way too.
The Robusto mostly than other ones. Don't like the Churchill much. It's just too big after
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yep.
But the Robusto is just perfect. I mean, just the perfect amount of smoke. Especially with whiskey, it just blends really,
Right.
really well.
So would you say you're more of a full body because
Yes,
you're, the
for
wrapper
sure.
on that is very
Yeah.
dark. So
Yeah.
you like more of a full bodied.
So not always that because the wrapper is darker means it's stronger.
Right.
Okay.
That's not always the case.
Okay.
This is how the market talks about it.
Sure.
This is how customers look at it and go like, "Oh, darker means stronger." Okay, but honestly, it's not. If you look at T52, is lighter in color but stronger.
Yep.
You know,
Agreed.
so it doesn't. It depends on how much, what kind of leaves you have inside of it is
Right.
what makes it stronger, not the outside. The outside is just a wrapper.
Wrapper. Okay.
You're just getting most of the taste.
Yep.
But the blend itself inside is what makes it strong or
Right.
not.
And that's something
You know.
that I've realized. And thank you for
Obviously, the
pointing out-
wrapper does have something to do with it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't give you mixed information, but most of the times is the blend inside that makes it stronger.
You're absolutely right. You know, that for us, for me, you know, going through the cigars that we've been smoking, I've been wanting to go a little bit darker as far as the wrapper goes because I know there are different flavor profiles, but I don't like a really hard, you know, cigar
So
taste.
Brazilian wrapper would work really good for you.
Okay.
Very sweet, and not that strong.
Okay.
Okay.
Because my second round, it's a darker cigar, Jeremy. That you would say, have you tried that one before? So
that's
we're gonna
the
dive. I'll dive into
undercrown.
this one a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
that-
a darker flavor,
That's
darker look.
so that was made. The undercrown was made because they couldn't keep up legal
Oh, okay.
in manufacturing.
Yeah,
And
the,
people
the
that
rollers
work
were
there-
smoking them too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ah,
They were
okay.
smoke them all. So they're like, no, you can't have free because everybody that works at Drew Estate Factory are allowed to have a cigar. Right?
And they were all smoking.
And
there's
they
some-
were all
Yeah.
smoking the legal. And so supposedly
The
they
Maduros?
came out with a blend.
All right.
So the rollers themselves came out with a blend.
Oh,
and
nice.
that's the undercrown.
All right. I can't wait to dive into that one. That's gonna be fun.
Undercrown does have 3 different shades. So you have the full body in your hand. They have the mild,
Right.
and then they have, the medium, and then they have the mild as well.
Gotcha.
So they have 3 different styles. It depends on how strong you want it.
Fair.
They have one for everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, this Herrera Esteli, right? Am I saying that right?
Esteli.
Esteli, Herrera Esteli. That's
So-
it's
Herrera is the name of the guy that makes it.
okay.
Okay, and
Esteli.
Esteli is the town that the tobacco's from.
Okay. Right on. So this is it's budding on bold, if I were to use alliteration to it's getting there. It's strong, it's budding on being really bold. It's like right on the edge of that for me. I normally go medium to medium light when I'm picking something for myself. I usually ask for something. So this is bold as far as what I normally do.
Yep.
But I like it. I'm digging on it.
Most of the tobacco, though, that comes from Nicaragua is a little bit stronger than average.
Okay.
So, if you go Dominican Republic, you probably get all the mediums and the milds.
Yep.
For sure. Anything from Nicaragua is usually tend to be a little bit stronger,
Right.
a little bit more peppery, a little more spicy.
Yeah, the old tub. We were just looking at that, and it does say at the on the wrapper it says bottled in bond.
Yeah, that's actually kind of shocking because it's not 101.
There it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's.
I have
Did you
to
crack
ask
that,
about
Tony?
that. Yes, it's open.
All right. So Matt, see what you can find on the old tub, and I'll pour it up.
First initial
Is your cup
thought,
empty?
My cup
The nose.
is empty. It must floweth over.
Your cup is empty. May I?
Oh,
So,
please.
okay.
Yeah. That's why we open it. There's a reason why we're called Brotherhood of the Barrel.
All right. All right.
First initial nose actually smells
Went
really
heavy
good.
there. Here, I don't want to go too heavy on you.
Thank you, sir.
Really,
You said heavy?
no, it smells really good. It
does.
It smells really good.
I was gonna say it wasn't.
It's got it smells sweet. For me on that nose.
I got too much. I got too much cigar in my nose. I think.
I
You trying to smell your cigar instead of your bourbon? Is that what you're doing now?
Yeah.
I
Alright.
smell nutty,
Or are you smelling the microphone again?
nutty notes in here.
You know, the price point on it, just to get out, it's the price point's actually really, for a daily drinker, I can see why. For anywhere between $22 to $25 as far as a price point, it's really good.
Yeah, they're trying to probably look at the shelf and go like, okay, we need something in that $25.
Right. This is what helps start.
It's not, even though Jim Beam is bourbon.
Right.
But it's a lot of times people think it's too sweet.
Right.
This is not sweet.
And the Old Tub is the foundation of the Jim Beam family itself.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
This release, though, it's 4 years old, unfiltered at 100 proof. Will really help to pull out that true rustic character of the whiskey itself, from the Old Tub itself.
Yeah.
But to go bottled in bond, which is one of the best things that ever happened to bourbon and whiskey, at that just kind of really set us apart from everyone else. But 140 years ago is when Old Tub was actually started.
Oh, really?
That's awesome.
140 years.
Nice.
First crafted 140 years. Fred No, seventh generation master distiller. He said, excited to share this one-of-a-kind liquid with our fans and provide a bit of authenticity and nostalgia as we head towards another 225 years of the bourbon industry. So, this is actually a pretty, authentic and historic.
Yeah.
bourbon.
So I actually crashed that unveiling of that statue of Freddie No.
Oh, did you?
Literally about 5-6 years ago, we were coming back from Kentucky, and a buddy of mine, a friend of his, wanted a certain bottle from Jim Beam, and it was only distillery only sold. And I was not happy because we had to drive an hour out of our way to get to the distillery and an hour back to go back. So we get up there and we get up to Jim Beam, and the place is full of cars and people outside on the lawn. And we're like, what's going on? So we go ask the gift shop, what's going on? They're like, oh, they're unveiling the statue in front of the Jim Beam. So if you see the statue of Jim Beam, Freddie No is trying to hold his cap like that. His tie is going like this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get up there, and everybody that last name is Beam is there. The mayor is there.
You're right.
A ton of media. And after they unveiled and, everything, and I went and shook their hand, and I said, hey, I'm from Michigan. They're like,
Where?
what are you
How'd
doing
you
here?
get
I was
You're
like,
not
well,
from around these parts, are you?
I'm like, well, I was just...
Where's your mirror glasses
I was-
at?
Yeah, right.
I came to try some stuff, and
Yeah.
I figure I crash your party, and he's like, you're not crashing anything. Have fun.
Hey.
That's awesome.
So
Love
that was
it.
great. We had a drink and cupcakes.
And
A bunch of
cupcakes.
cupcakes. That's all.
Yeah, they are saying the tasting notes from the Old Tub. That first initial wave, you'll get some oak, followed by some ribbons of vanilla on that as well. And I'm kind of getting that vanilla. I didn't really get too much oak, but I got the vanilla almost immediately. The palate, though, it's going to be more oaky. And then you'll be complemented by grain, a little warm caramel in there as well. Caramel. How do you say it, Tony?
Caramel.
All right, fair.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone's different.
Caramel.
See?
So, because I was smelling, it's not floral, but I smelled a flower, and I think that's the vanilla I was getting, like the vanilla blossom.
Oh, that's nice.
Overall, really good for a 4-year-old at $25, $26
Right,
bottle.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ethanol on it.
I have tried the older bottles that were only in pints. A friend of mine brought me one. They must have redid something in it because it didn't taste nowhere as good as this. It's still thin and it needs more time, for me. But at $26, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
4
a
years.
little bit of the ethanol, and it's the unfiltered thing, right? So it's not charcoal filter, it's not cold filtered. It's just screened. They said so.
Yeah.
That was kind of the hallmark of the Old Tub back in
They know.
the day.
That's what everybody wants
1930.
anymore.
Yeah, the
The
not
non-chill filtered.
yeah.
Don't take. It's like you take a piece of steak and you take all the fat out of it before you cook it. You kind of like,
What's the point of that?
yeah, I know. You kind of
Trim
want
it
that
off.
fat.
No.
Leave it on. That's where the taste is.
That's where the flavor comes in.
I'll talk to my buddy Eric about that. Don't cut the fat off. He doesn't.
Oh. Yeah, no, I like that. And I like the presentation. It's got the vintage looking label, throwback kind of looking label. Good looking stuff.
Nice.
Right on.
Great price point though.
Yes.
It's just that's just astounded consumers with that price point to bring it to for
Yeah, I mean,
summer
cool.
release to come out at that price point.
Right.
It just and the historic piece of it
Yeah,
all. You would think they'd go 55, 60, but
only
yeah.
Jim Beam and Heaven Hill can do stuff like this
Right.
because they really have a ton of barrels.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
They really have a lot of
A
barrels.
deep stock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's it was like Matt. You had the statistic that there's in Kentucky there's a barrel for 2 barrels for
There's like
every
2
person
barrels for every one person.
in
And that
Kentucky.
probably now is like 3.
right. After all this, yeah.
Yeah. It's
You know,
crazy, the growth.
Yep. All this information I'm getting about Old Tub is right off of the Bourbon Review.
Okay.
So if you go onto the Bourbon Review, you're gonna be able to get all the information that I'm getting off of the Old Tub
Yeah.
at that point.
No,
So,
very pleasant, very good. In my opinion, is a little bit too thin and too young, but at $26, this is what you're gonna get right,
Right.
now.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So it's what would you pair up with this? Being this young, what kind of cigar would you tag onto the Old Tub?
I think I'd go a little spicier. I think I'd do the Drew Estate Sun-Grown. I think that would pair really well with that. So you got a little. This got a little. It's not real spicy, but it's young and it's got a little bit of heat to it. I think the Undercrown Sun-Grown would do really well with the Old Tub.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I honestly just like to enjoy what I like to smoke and what
Yep.
I like to drink. So
There you
I'm
are.
with you.
you know,
I'm with you.
there's no method to that madness,
Yep.
really.
Really, there's not, but you can make mistakes.
The only thing is if it's a sweeter cigar or a flavored cigar like Java, mint, or something like that.
Sweet
then
Jane.
then Sweet Jane.
Yeah.
Then those I really prefer them with a coffee than it
Yes.
is with a drink.
Yes.
That's about the only thing. It's when I change, my drink. But I never really change my drink for the cigar.
I've been starting to
Personally.
see a lot of folks have been doing a lot of coffee cigar pairings, and they're starting to really dive into that type of a pairing instead of the bourbon side because you can only drink so much bourbon, before your heartburn kicks in. But the coffee side of it is actually, and the cigar pairing sounds very interesting to me. Do a hard espresso or what have you with a darker cigar.
Right.
Well,
Or
if you
for
do
a full body
espresso,
cigar.
then you can smoke something like this.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're just doing like a cappuccino or have a little bit light cream in it, like milk, then you could definitely do the lighter cigars. If I'm gonna do straight up coffee, just regular coffee, Java mint is my
There you go.
my go-to. Great. You have the mint and you have the coffee. It's a great balance,
I
in
like
my
it.
opinion.
I like it a lot.
But I like mint and I like coffee, so.
Jeremy, didn't ask you this. I usually ask this question. So you're the admin for
Yes.
the Michigan chapter of the Cigar Cartel. Tell me about your childhood.
Jeez, where do we
Which
start?
part of this childhood is it going to share?
Yeah, right. Let's see. Is there any family listening? No.
Not yet.
No, not yet. The wife and my father might be listening. I got them
Excellent.
invited into
Welcome.
Yes. So grew up in the Flint area. Moved to Davison. Been living and working in the area since about 4th grade. 36 now. So my father actually got me into cigars when I was 18. Started on the Drew Estate line. Started with the Cuba, the acid.
Wow.
And then it's been a downhill slope ever since.
Downhill slope ever
Downhill
Well,
slope.
I say uphill slope.
Well, uphill to me because
When you hit 40, that's when you start going downhill.
Gotcha.
all right?
Okay. All right. We could. I'll go with that.
Talk to me on the other side of 50, fellas.
So one of the bucket list items that my father and I have had was we wanted to go to do a cigar safari with Drew Estate in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
2018, we got to do that.
Nice.
I know Tony's been a couple times too, and he can chime in on that too. But
Amazing. place.
it's the culture, the food, the people, the cigars. I mean, it was. I thought I knew a lot about cigars.
Yeah.
Didn't know squat about cigars.
I love that. I love that it was you and your dad. My dad and I golfed.
Yep.
And I miss that. Somebody asked me if you could do, if you could have one thing, one day back, what would it be? And I said it would be a round of golf with my dad.
Yep.
So, but I love that you and your dad have that, and you share that. It's a beautiful thing. So, tell me, a cigar safari.
Cigar safari.
Tell me about cigar safaris. This is new for me.
4 days, all you can eat, drink, and smoke, and it was the top of my bucket list and a couple of our buddies from around the Flint area went with us too. So
How many people go? What is it?
16, I believe. 16 in a rep can get to go they do it every 4 or 5 days. Well, they were.
Yeah.
Everything has got shut down because of COVID, but so it was 4 days, 3 days, 4 nights.
So you would go on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
You would leave Wednesday. No, I'm sorry. You would leave Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, they get the next group.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
And then on again.
Right.
Yeah.
And they always did it around their spring, which is I'm sorry, their summer, which is our winter here.
Okay. Well, no,
So,
perfect time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually October to May or
Good
April.
time to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
we went in March and it was
Yeah.
freezing cold here, and we got there and it's 110 degrees
Yeah.
all week.
Yeah. And it dry.
And it dried,
Right.
so
like
it wasn't
no rain
bad.
at all.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, as soon as you got on the bus when they picked you up at the airport, it was cigars. They had boxes of cigars on the bus. And
Hey, Jamie, road trip.
Road trip.
if you ever get to do it, you ever get the opportunity,
Yeah.
do it.
Cigar safari.
Cigar
Have you been on a
safari.
couple of them, Tony?
I've been on 2 of them. Yes.
Okay.
It was they were amazing.
What was your favorite part of it?
Honestly, a lot of it was learning about
Yeah.
the product.
Yeah.
And just like how I learned about the distilleries and the history about it,
right.
it was the same thing.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
It was
Um,
seed to cigars.
yeah,
They
seed
go
to
from
cigar. Yeah.
seed to the finished product,
Yeah.
and they let you're hands-on
Oh,
almost on everything.
Yeah.
Not on everything, but just about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you could touch, feel. You got your face buried in a bundle of tobacco, and it's an
They help
amazing
you
smell.
kind of learn how to wrap and everything. You got
No.
that
They
hands-on,
used
or-
to, but they don't anymore.
Yeah,
you get to
they-
blend your own cigars at Hoya de Nicaragua and at Drew Estate, so that was a
Yeah.
fun experience.
That was amazing.
Yep.
I did it.
How
I did it
would
twice.
your blends turn out?
You know, I still have few cigars left. I kind of don't want to smoke them. But you know, it came out. I mean, look, we're not gonna know how to blend cigars.
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
We're just gonna do, and you're gonna have fun with it,
Yep.
and that's it. You know,
Yep.
The only thing I could tell you that the best thing about it is that you could have your exact size that you like of cigar. So they give you a style of cigar, and they're like, pick your blend, and after that you pick your cigar. Like, what size cigar do you want?
Yeah.
You can make it into a Lancero, you can make it into a Robusto, and I always made it like the Pharaoh Flying Pig.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, just because I love that
Right.
size of cigar. But yeah, I mean, very cool, very inexpensive, honestly. It should cost you about $1,600 to $1,700.
Yep.
But that's airfare included,
right.
hotel, food, smokes, drinks.
Wow.
I mean, it is.
Yep.
You don't need
Ski
to.
trip,
Right.
Yeah. You
safari.
You stay
yeah.
right
Yeah.
on
Cigar
the
safari.
Drew Estate
Ski trip.
compound. You're in a locked.
Yeah.
You're on the compound.
Yeah.
They're literally rolling cigars across the street.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you can't beat it. If you're a cigar nerd, you have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the list now. So did you have a birthday yesterday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
sir.
birthday. I was like,
Thank you.
I saw you posted a special bottle and a cigar,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
a
was like,
birthday
happy
party.
birthday to me. And I was like, oh, crap, happy birthday.
Yeah,
Cheers,
thank
man.
you. Cheers.
It's
So what's it like being 35?
Yeah.
I wish. I wish I was 35.
So people have complimented when we were doing when we were talking to the Drew Estate folks, and we were in that big chat.
Yep.
And they called you out, Tony, and they complimented your humidor. Here at the Wine Garden. How important to a business owner is maintaining how important it is to your business? Does it bring people in? Does it put people off? Is it is it a hobby for you? How important is it to your business?
The humidor is very important to my business. It started out as like, I love cigars, and I'm gonna put cigars in here. In the smaller store, I had the cabinet. When I came over here, I was like, I gotta build in a humidor. I didn't know how big of the cigars were going to be part of my business. But now knowing how big it is, I should have had the humidor twice the size.
Should have that whole little
Yeah.
kiosk behind it. You should have.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about making it bigger, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just that what price it will it become?
Right.
You know, you're gonna spend $10,000. How long is it gonna take you to make it?
Right.
Is
You
the
know.
Sterling Heights store going to have a humidor as well?
Yes. So actually, we are. It's in process. It's the guy's building it right now, and by the end of this week or maybe beginning of next week, he's gonna start the installation of it.
Nice.
So by mid-August, end of August, we should have a humidor there.
Nice.
Well, and obviously would have been done quicker, but COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it stopped everything.
Well, these
Track.
cigars are fresh, and
Yeah.
Yes.
they're nice. And it's I have the dumbest, worst luck on cigars. 80% of the time they boat on me, and I'm good to have a little better than halfway through on this, so I'm not going to jinx myself. I don't think.
No,
This
you're
hasn't-
not going to have that. A lot of times you're going to have. Okay, so honestly, keeping your humidor right for temperature and humidity.
Yeah.
It's very, very important.
Yeah.
It's so important that I have a gauge right behind the register. I'll show it to you guys when you get up there.
I have
So
a
I literally-
wireless one. It's on
Yeah.
my phone. That's how much of a nerd I am. I have an app on my
You
phone.
Could, you could check his humidity from
I am.
away.
I'm sitting at work going,
Honey, can
oh,
you,
it dropped. I need you to
yeah.
go put another Bovida pack in there. Yeah.
It's so important, right? I mean, you dry the cigar, you can bring it back, but you lost all the oils and all the flavors out of it. So there is an art in
Yeah.
to
So
keep
when
it
I
in-
picked this up, it was nice, and it was.
So I actually keep the humidor at like 67, 68. I don't get it to 69 and 70
right.
because when you go to smoke it, okay, is gonna get spongy on you as soon as you
Right.
light it, right? And then it won't light. It
Right.
just keeps going out
Yeah.
on you.
You can't
right?
keep it lit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't keep. Like I like 67, 66.
I'm
That's
with
where
you.
I like it. I don't
Okay.
like it at even 69
Yeah.
is too high for me. So there is an art. Like you can't just bring cigars and put in a humidor and say, "All right, let's sell
There
it."
you go.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You really got. I mean, I pay attention more to that corner of the store more than anything. Like that's the corner that gets checked on 3 or 4 times a day, and because you could easily ruin everything.
Yeah.
High
Oh, yeah.
temperature, bugs grow, right?
Yeah.
They can eat your entire cigar humidor,
Ugh.
and you don't want that. Low humidity, high humidity is not good either. So, you got to keep an eye on it. Make
There's a-
sure everything's working.
It's quite the operation to
Yeah, it's-
people go, oh, you can run it. You don't think all these things that go into operating up here in the Midwest, we call them party stores.
Right.
It's just a lot to it,
Yeah.
especially when you get as intricate and deep into it as you do. So people should find a Tony near them.
Yes.
Because I tell the story all the time because I walked in here.
I love the story.
And I was looking for a gift for a friend. I actually used to live like right down the street, and this building used to be like a banquet hall. I DJ'd. It was the
Chateau
fire.
Rouge.
Yeah.
And-
The fire marshal from St. Clair Shores. He retired, and I DJ'd his retire. That's the last party I did in here. Was his retirement years ago. And this building is bizarre because it gets shorter at this
Yeah.
end of the building. It's taller at that end, and it's shorter. It always freaked me out.
It's
And the
like
DJ
this.
was always set up down here, and they had this little riser. My head would like hit the ceiling. And it's like this weird as hell. I'm like, oh, that place. My head's gonna be hitting the ceiling all night. But I'd come in to the wine garden, and I was looking for a gift for a friend. And I had never met you before or anything. And I'm kind of fumbling around the whiskey section. It's an Irish friend. I'm looking for an Irish whiskey. He's like, hey, you came over. You're like, what are you looking for? And I said, it's a gift for a friend. They're always really nice to me. I want something nice for him. And it's something Irish. And then you're like, come on over here. And you were like, you don't know me from Adam. And you're explaining things to me. And you gave me a little taste of something. And then you led me in a brilliant direction. And my friend was very, very happy. That's the experience that you get here. And you got to find, people call them the honey spot, right? Where you're going to find those good whiskeys, those good bourbons. you got to find somebody like Tony in your area because it's
You
always
should
great to
just
have.
be loyal to the store.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're loyal to that owner, he's going to be loyal to you.
No, but see, you didn't know me from Adam. I've been in other stores. I'm sorry to say this. I've been in other stores, and there's this one in Royal Oak, and I walk in and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for this, and he's like, well, maybe after you're in here a few times and you buy a few things from me, I might be able to talk to you. And he literally said, that wasn't exactly, but it was something along those lines. It's like, you're not a regular customer. My good bottles aren't for you, is what he basically said. And I'm like, well, I am not going to be a regular customer. I am never coming back into this place again. And they're known. They're one of the ones that are kind of known for having good bottles, and that's why I popped in. It was like in one of the Michigan Bourbon Clubby things, and somebody's like, oh my God, I got this here, and I'm like, I got to check that place out. And I go in, and the guy did that to me, and I'm like, yeah, no. And I walk in here, and you're like, you almost hugged me the first time I came in. I was like, it was like it was. You're good people, Tony, and I appreciate it. And I tell people all the time, there's the place to go.
Whiskey's my passion. Actually, all alcohol. Cigars, and when I see someone is interested, it becomes easier to talk to you about it. Tell you, my passion. Tell you what I like. Tell you, yeah. A lot of times, even in the humidor, I get people to come in and they're like, I want to buy a gift for someone. All right. I got to ask them a few questions, and I'm thinking, all right, does that guy smoke cigars all the time? Well, sometimes.
Right.
Does he smoke a darker or a lighter wrapper?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I always give them something a little bit milder, just
Right.
not
Yeah.
to, in case they were a very mild
Yeah.
person.
You don't want to knock their socks off.
Yeah, yeah. So it's what I do is fun.
Yeah.
Running the business is not easy, but talking to a customers about product is the best thing.
Yeah. So I appreciate you, and like I said, people should find if you're in Metro Detroit, you found it. It's the Wine Garden, and if you're not in Metro Detroit, then you just hunt around, right? You'll find a place that has good people
There's great stores.
because
Even in the
I mean, this
metro
is your life. I mean, this is how you take care of your kids. This is how you put them to work.
Absolutely.
Your boy is
Yeah.
helping us out. He's a good lad.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, this is your life, and you really put yourself into it. And like that cat that was like, well, unless you buy a bunch of stuff from me, I was like, I don't know. How do you stay in business with that kind of attitude? I
Won't
don't
be back
get
here.
It. I don't
I
get
know I've
it.
said this so many times, but you have to cater to your clientele.
Yeah.
You really have to make sure that they understand what they're getting themselves into, and then you're making that proper recommendation so they do come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what you're very good at, Tony.
Yeah.
So Tony, and an hour has flown by. I cannot.
Wow,
I
no
cannot
kidding.
even believe it. Yeah. So Jeremy, thank you for
No
the
problem.
advice on.
Can we try
on
one
the
more thing before we cut
cigars?
it off?
Uh-oh.
What are we gonna try?
All right.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Hang on, boys.
Yeah.
No, appreciate you guys having me on.
This will be the he's going.
He's going
behind
top
the-
and in the back.
He's going
Top
top,
shelf.
Top shelf and in the back.
The Man Cave Happy Hour, you can find us on all the socials. You got us on the Facebook. You can get us on mancavehappyhour.com, on the Instagram. If you have questions, we really want to expand our own palettes. But if you have a suggestion, let us know what you'd like us to try and give your
That's it.
opinions.
Red
So
breast,
He
pot
pulled out
still,
the red breast.
small batch,
Small batch.
Tony, you're my hero.
cask strength.
I love red breast.
I gotta kiss
This is the
this
small
quick.
batch. I had the
So
red
this
breast.
this is store picks,
Oh man.
uncut, unchill filtered.
Oh, that you
Yeah.
still got
Okay.
that. I'm gonna.
If you want to rinse your glass a little bit, put a little bit of water in it and then drink it,
Yeah.
just to give it a little rinse.
Yep. I am excited that you pulled out the red breast, sir.
Yeah. So there were 4 barrels in the state.
Oh.
They each went to different states,
Okay.
and I end up getting 1 bottle of each, thanks to my buddy Darshan.
Thanks,
He made
Darshan.
it happen.
Now, Jamie, you had the red breast a couple weeks ago when we were at together over in Northville, and this is
Yes.
different
Thank
from
you,
what
sir.
we had before.
Yes. Barrel proof, single barrel.
Wow.
Sherry. I'm smelling.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm smelling the sherry
Yeah, it's
and a little bit of the wood.
sherry cask finish.
I love there's seems to be a red tinge to it. Ooh.
Very amberish.
It's almost like dessert, honestly. I love this one. Well, you could see that I, more than three-quarters
You worked
of
on
it
that
is-
bottle a couple of times, haven't you?
Luckily, I have a backup.
Oh, it's full of. There's a lot of stuff going on in your mouth. It hits the top. It hits the tongue. Not all of them hit the roof. This is hitting the roof. Not in a bad way, but it's filling the roof. It's
Wow, where to start?
Yeah,
Wow,
it's an amazing whiskey. I love it. I love the sherry finish in it.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's sweet on the
honey
way in.
That honey taste on it. Oh man, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's sweet on the way in, but there's some spice at the end afterwards. I'm getting.
That's your heartburn.
I don't know if it's. I don't know if that's all the
You're
cigar.
it doesn't taste thin.
No.
It's full body for sure.
Yeah.
Like we talk
Ooh.
about cigars.
There's no, and like after that old tub, it's like there's no ethanol in this. The
I
red
don't feel
breast.
that at all.
No.
No. Ooh.
It's amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes,
oh my
thank
God.
you.
You're welcome.
I mean, thank you.
That's,
All right. Holy smokes. Well, we're going to pause and we're going to reboot and we're going to be right back on. If somebody's like hanging out on Facebook, we're going to right back up with, we're going to talk about another bourbon as well. But we're going to wrap this up now and log out and log back in. So, Tony, thank you so much for sharing this.
you're
and
welcome.
Thanks for having us
Always
here in the
appreciate it.
bunker.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.